Hello, everyone. I'm here again with Dr. Terry Young, and I'm continuing a conversation that began last time, a fascinating conversation about how we have happiness and how does that actually come to experience in our life. And so, Terry, tell us about the next piece in that.
Yeah, the book by Shawn Achor is the focus that we're taking in this little book review. And the first chapter, or the first element of potential that he deals with, is this matter of surrounding yourself with positive influencers. And it's simply pointing out that we are very much shaped by our environment. He refers to an ecosystem of potential, and that ecosystem or environment is either positive or maybe neutral, or it could even be negative. And so he makes the point that small potential is ever and always the matter of trying to go at life solo, going at life by ourselves. We cannot realize big potential without a network, without an ecosystem of what he calls positive influencers. He quotes in the chapter Jim Rohn, who a number of years ago was a motivational success speaker, who said, "We become like the 5 people we hang around with most."
Wow, that's really
That's a sobering kind of idea of I need to be careful about who I'm then hanging around with. And in the chapter, he talks about 3 particular types of positive influencers. He talks about the person who is the pillar for you, and that's the person who stands with you and will drop everything, come over late at night, in the middle of the night, to help you. Those are pillars. He then talks about bridgers, and those may be people in your influence network who help you to find people and resources, maybe outside of your own resources. And then the extenders are the influencers who push you out of your comfort zone. I was attracted to that by the fact that CREST, when we think of cohorts and doing this matter of midlife consideration and evaluation and assessment, we're saying it's really impossible to do that alone. And you do that with others who care about you, who really do become pillars, and many others who become extenders. They push you out of your comfort zone to actually realize your potential, and they are positive influencers.
Yeah, that this would really concur with the constant positive feedback we get in CREST about the value of the dialogue and the exchange and the friendships that emerge out of these cohorts, we call them, between 10 and 15 students, where we have a pledge of confidentiality, we have an open and encouraging atmosphere, and people say they love this, and it does something to their psyche, and this is what the author's telling us.
Yep, and it's that reciprocal. In CREST, you gain a great deal, but it's not just about gaining, it's about giving, and that reciprocal bond becomes very, very important in terms of our influence in helping others realize their story, and we share our story, and they help us realize our story. In the latter part of the chapter, he refers to a book by C.S. Lewis, The Great Divorce, and those who've read that know that he pictures there a place called Greytown. And Greytown is the place where people living in this town all live in close proximity, but in time they begin to get irritated with one another, and what they do is they begin to sort of move a little further away from one another because they don't like to be around things that irritate them, and in time they move further and further away. And Lewis portrays this as Greytown. It is a type of hell where people experience only darkness, isolation, distrust, and loneliness, and it actually is quite an apt description of what happens when we don't have connection. And I was drawn to this because I think many, many leaders feel very isolated and very lonely. And in the complexity of what we're dealing with today, we need more connection than ever, but we need to be careful to make sure it's positive connection. Well, I think CREST provides a great opportunity to find that and to nurture it and to see that develop, because many of the people in our cohorts maintain their connection with people well after maybe they've concluded their CREST experience. They've built a network of people they know who are pillars, bridgers, and extenders for them. So I was drawn to that first chapter in that way.
That's very good, and a good description of why we are so convinced about this importance of coming together away at a retreat center, having this positive encounter with one another and with God, it does shape a person's soul for the good. And so thanks for sharing that one. That was a really good piece.
Good.
So next time I want to hear about how do you actually shield against the stuff that drains that away from you. So we'll cover that next time.
Okay, good.